Hey, 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 it's Friday. Can you believe that? May 30th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. So we, as a collective of small business owners, in particular martial arts school owners, we're just trying to figure out this thing called life. We want to be happy. We want to be prosperous. We want to do good things for our family, our team, our community, right? And we want that financial freedom. I mean, why start a business, right? Unless that's your goal, beyond the obvious of fulfilling your purpose. And mine is live your best life. So as you come aboard, say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We got Bob Poole of Gold Martial Arts as always, supporting our cause and giving us love. Ralph from Switzerland. Hey, Ralph. How you doing, Ralph? Remember, if you're going to Vegas, let's you and I get on a Zoom call or something, and we will talk about the different things you should do while you're there, since I'm a regular person in Vegas. Maybe you should tell them to go see Lorenzo, Marco. Oh, maybe not. So let's begin by...
Don't do it.
What? All right, so let's start by thanking our sponsors of the show as always. We have Tusa, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, and King Creative. And I want to compliment all these companies for their growth, their innovation. They continue. Market Muscles just released their own CRM system. My Studio's on version 2. King Creative, we're doing things that's never been done. I sat in a 5-hour shoot the other night for Kin Creative with a local school owner. LC Accounting, just a staple in bookkeeping. Kids Love Life Skills. We launched our new subscription-based model, right? $99 a month gives you access to every support material we have, plus huge discounts. So anybody that uses Kids Love Life Skills, I'd suggest you move to the subscription at $99 a month. You'll have a much more robust system to work with as well. Cool. Hey, what's up, Oscar? Oscar and Michelle from Legacy Mixed Martial Arts in New Mexico. I had the pleasure of meeting them at the Carlos Machado event out in Texas. And what a gift. What a gift. So what are we talking about today? Well, it's a big one, right? We all talk about referrals. And I'll promote the events in a minute, Marco. I just know that when we talk about referral systems, what we're accepting about our industry and our school as a whole is that we constantly need to replace students, right? Because people are going to leave. They're going to age out. They're going to grow up. They're going to get bored. They're not us. They're not lifetime martial artists, nor should they be, right? If that's not their purpose, it's not their purpose, right? So I want to be mindful that when we talk about referrals, that's one leg of the whole picture of recruiting new students, right? You should be running Facebook ads as long as you can afford it. You should be taking care of your Google business page so you rank higher. You should be updating your website constantly so it's truly a robust lead generating website. You should be making sure you're constantly getting reviews. All those different things add up to getting new students. A great trial process in place, right? Giving them a reason to want to be part of your culture versus anything else that kids are doing today. So it's not just simply referrals. And I think people like to often, I hear that a lot from old school martial artists that, well, referrals are the best way to get new business, word of mouth. Yeah, maybe so, because it stood the test of time. But please do not believe it's the only way, right? It's the only way. And I watch people dismiss spending money on Facebook ads. I watch people dismiss updating their Google page and keeping their SEO optimal. I watch people dismiss the value of a website like Market Muscles, which allows you to constantly update key search words, which allow you to do all these different things. Please don't just simply lay back. Well, word of mouth is the best way. That's how I get on my business. Word of mouth, word of mouth. Yeah, and you got 100 students for 30 years now. I don't know if that's working. So I just really want to put that out there and be really solid when we talk about referrals. It is not the end all be all. It is one way to get new students, but is not the reason to just say this is the only way. And you hold it like you're so proud of it. Have I beaten that one up enough, Marco? I think so. Hey, look, Miss Tina's here. Hey, Mrs. Tina. How's it going? How's it going? We had a good talk yesterday at our Kin Creative Weekly meeting, and blew Mrs. Tina's mind with a little chat GPT. Was that pretty cool? Was that pretty cool? Yeah, it is pretty cool. So if you want to build a referral machine, and that wasn't really my word, I actually got it from ChatGPT on what's a great header and why. Um, when we talk about a machine, we technically think about something that's able to, do things at a better level than us as a human being, right? But I'm going to tell you, if you really want to talk about word of mouth referrals, nothing. And again, I'm with Kin Creative. I run Facebook ads. I write copy. I mentor this team. You can't tell me that a Facebook ad is as impactful as a mom standing at a bus stop talking to another mom, right? About how great it is her kids are learning confidence at one martial arts, right? Okay. So again, when we talk about referrals, who are we discussing? Your parents, your students, your members. They're the ones that are going to go out there into the world and promote your school. So we're going to go back 3 steps on this now. I need you to stay with me. When people buy from you, it's transactional. When people believe in what you do, you have a loyal customer, right? And they often become friends, they become part of your martial arts family, and it's a whole different animal. Those are the people that will refer you. The person who just it's transactional, until they believe it's nothing more than that. So I want to be very mindful that what I put at my website, what I put at Facebook, what I put on my social media platforms are really communicating my purpose. I'm creating what's called brand awareness. And that's where it begins, right? Because that person walks through the door and it's $19.99 for 3 classes and a uniform. That lasts about that long. But it's the story you tell, it's the seed you plant, it's the relationship you cultivate that turns them from a customer into a raving fan. And when any of your parents can become a raving fan, they're going to go out there and tell everybody consciously, even in the middle of Trader Joe's shopping, trying to grab dinner for the kids. They see somebody that could benefit from what their children have gained at your school. They're going to be mindful to tell everybody, no matter how inconvenient it can be at moments. You're just right there because what you've offered their families is nothing short of a miracle. You with me? So that's the first part of that, right? That's the first part of that. I really want you to ask yourself right now is, are you truly impactful to the community you serve? Write it down. You don't have to answer it now. Or you could put yes in there. Um, are you truly impactful to the community you serve? Now, that's all relative, right? I'm famous in my own mind. Well, yes, you are. And we all are. But you have to ask yourself, what determines it to be impactful? Well, ChatGPT will say, number one, you're teaching life skills. So, all right, if I'm kid centric, am I really teaching life skills at a high level? Right. And that's how I created Kids Love Life Skills. I wanted to be amazing at teaching life skills. I wanted to be at the forefront of that in our industry. Right. Not playing catch up, not sitting there, you know, um, just catching trends and following whatever's being spit out. So I'm mindful of that when I created Kids Love Life Skills, it was a huge component. Second, supported. Are you truly a supportive environment? 3, do you help that kid be fit and strong, right? And that's very important. And then, of course, self-defense or whatever your personal belief system that your school represents. So it really begins there because what they're discussing is the product. What they're discussing is the supportive staff. What they're discussing are the values that they fulfill life skills wise for their child. And if you can really work on those as a beginning starting point, and I have to constantly work on them because they become outdated. Kids learn differently, on and on and on. Am I constantly bettering my life skills? Am I constantly reviewing my curriculum? And am I constantly teaching amazing classes? Right? Am I constantly looking at even something as minute as your warm up and making sure that warm up is relevant, updated, dialed in? Is it fun? Right? All those things come into play. When you tell me, I teach old school. I teach the way my teacher taught me, and his teacher taught him, and his teacher taught him. Well, I commend you on that. But the honest truth is, kids learn way differently today than they ever have, ever have. And so I want to be mindful of that, okay? That if I'm really dedicated to what I do, then I need to be humble enough to say I can do it better. And I know I'm leaning into this first because you want that person to go out there and promote your school organically because they really, really love you. Then you have to get them to believe. See where I'm going with that? And the only way you can do that is by producing quality programs, producing quality instructors, producing a safe, supported environment that parents trust and know their child will thrive in. And now, once we've done that, and we're constantly doing that, and we're constantly investing in that, then we can talk about creating a referral program. Everybody with me? Put it in the comments if you agree with me on this. I know Ralph will. We totally revamped Ralph's curriculum. And he's at what, 200 something, Ralph? Right? You were at 60 or 80 when we first met. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of that. So comment. Give me a comment on that. I'm going to get rid of my son here. He keeps talking to me. I'll tell you that story in a minute. My entrepreneur son stood in line for 2 hours to get some new Pokemon cards that are launching. Walked in the store, paid $70 for it, turned around and sold it for 110. He made $40 in 2 hours. Good job at 16, right? Entrepreneurship. Yeah. And that's just it. But see, I think, Mrs. Tina, what happens there, it's so haphazard. I want to be legitimately. It's scheduled in my calendar, review curriculum. It's scheduled in my calendar, redo curriculum. It's scheduled in my calendar. Every week we train our staff. It's scheduled in the calendar. All of these things are scheduled in because the core product we are selling is martial arts instruction. Make no mistake. Make no mistake of that, please. Ever. So if we're not constantly improving upon it, then we will fail. So I have a great saying, and we use it passionately in a lot of our marketing and different conversations. We constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. Write it down. It's got a nice little rhyme to it. You're welcome to use it. Right? It's not our live your best life. It's just one of the many philosophies that drive one martial arts. We constantly improve upon what we do to better serve you. But now we have to take ownership. Got to take ownership of that. So please make sure of that because people often will say to me, well, I get all these students but they're not staying. Well, there you go. We have a referral system, but nobody ever refers us. Well, that's a clear indicator. You better get back to the drawing board there and work on your curriculum, right? I have guys that still argue with me and go, well, the hand's supposed to be like this versus who cares? When the day's done, who cares? If I punch you in the face, whether my thumb is properly placed or not, it's going to hurt. So if that's your big gig, if that's what you're going to lean into, then so be it, right? So be it. But I don't believe that's going to build the type of culture that can grow to a level of sustainability where you can create an amazing lifestyle. There has to be a balance. Okay. So we know we're doing great curriculum. We know we're reviewing the curriculum. We know we're working on our team all the time. We know the school is clean, immaculate, right? Everything's dialed in. Boom. So what is the first referral system I recommend? Well, pay money, 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 right? In the word of the OJs, money. It's money. That's simple. Now we do a very simple one. If you refer somebody, they sign up for membership, we will deduct $50 off your next month's tuition. Why is that a win-win? One, I earn $50. Two, I'm guaranteed you're going to be here another month. And then I'll deduct it from your tuition. Pretty simple. And through our app in My Studio, they can go in there and let us know, this person referred us. That to me is the most simple way to do that. Some people will give you a straight up, $50 Visa gift card. That's another one. You can actually, and I'm not crazy about this. I'll give you $1. We did that for all. I'll give you $1. $1 to use any way you want in a pro shop. Right? Well, you know what? I got a freaking hoodie. I have a freaking t-shirt. That's of no value to me. Right? To me. So I want to be very mindful that I'm giving legitimate stuff that adds up and doesn't benefit me. It's kind of like the guy at the silent auction I see all the time at the schools. They're so proud to give away, 6 passes for 2 weeks and a t-shirt. That is of no benefit to them. Give a premium birthday party, give a week of camp. That's a different conversation. Okay. So I want to, think of more exciting ways to do that. Now, you can also do a seasonal referral thing. You could do a student drive month. That's one that's worked for a lot of schools I've seen. We don't do it. I believe in the irrigation drip system of the $50 off anybody you refer. Now, doubling back to that for a moment, out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. How are you helping create awareness that this referral program exists? Okay, well, for us, it's displayed on the Market Muscles TV. That's on all the time. For us, we have on a couple of flyers in the school that are strategically placed in the bathrooms and places people can see prominently, right? They also, when they sign up, a couple of the emails in, it will tell them, hey, and if you refer somebody, if you love what we're doing, then make sure that you refer us. It's in our e-newsletter, right? We don't go as far as announcing it at the end of classes because we don't want to solicit. So we want to be mindful we keep what's happening on the floor pretty pure. Once in a while, we'll make an announcement. I did that yesterday for the Dad and Me party, but I really want to create this incubator in the actual class experience that it's strictly class and then use other ways to communicate that outside. You with me? Because it just taints it. It just changes it, right? This big philosophical, be better, work hard, and then launch into, buy our summer special. To me, there's a huge disconnect. So we choose not to do that. So ask yourself that question right now, everybody on the call. If you have a referral system in place that you don't believe is working, which a lot of people will say to me, it doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I want to ask you why it's not working. What is it that you're not communicating? Because that's really what happens. Much like purpose statements and things like that, people make these things and then they just disappear in the ether. Now, that can't happen here. So if you do have a referral program, that's one of the reasons they fall flat. You don't consistently promote them. Consistently promote them. And then you want to highlight seasonally if you can. Maybe during the holiday season, you do white belt in a bag, right? Some people do the white belt in a bag and they'll sell it for $10 and, they can turn around and gift it out to all their friends, right? And if the friend signs up for membership, not only did they give out free, trial classes or trial weeks with a white belt, they now get $50 off their tuition in January. See, that's great too. So I think, taking that referral system and putting a new bow on it is something you can do all the time. All the time. Okay? I mean, you could do it, let's say hypothetically. I like this idea that Beth has from Black Dragon Martial Arts where, they have a welcoming kit. There's all these things. Join our Facebook page. Download the app. Dot, 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 dot. Why not add refer a friend? And if they check all of these boxes off and we verify it, well, maybe you give them a hoodie or maybe you give them $50 off next month's tuition. Sure. Whatever the case may be. But you can't, the reason those referral systems fall flat is because we implement them and then we think they're set it and forget it. Doesn't happen. Why? Fatigue. Just like a Facebook ad or anything, there's fatigue and things are going to get old. And, what worked today doesn't work tomorrow. So how do we dress it up and put a new bow on it? And the seasonal things can help with that a lot. I'm going to go back and redo our referral flyer. And honestly, I'm going to take it up a level. I'm going to put a picture of my son like this, holding a stack of money in his hand, right? Because they automatically equate money as value. Right now, it's a very cerebral, very boring thing. And I thought that was enough. It's not enough. Nobody looks at it anymore. So it needs to be updated. And that's often just like our curriculum. The same thing happens here. So if your current referral program is flat, it's flat, then I would think it just needs a facelift. It needs to be consistently communicated, whether it's through a text, whether through it's an e-newsletter, whether it's through an email periodically, whether it's through the Market Muscles TV in your school, whether it's through a flyer. I think in this case, I'm going to update this flyer. So when they walk in the school, they think it's some new thing and they're going to look at it, right? It's always about putting a spin on it, putting a spin on it. Mrs. Tina, I start to lose the pump when I lose focus. Need to make better systems. I like seasonal idea. Yeah, and that's where my Google Calendar, Mrs. Tina, is very valuable. And if I put every 3 months, send out an email, right, reminding our existing student base about the referral system. Guess what? A notification pops up. Smart business. Every day you better open your Google Calendar. Go, what do I have on the calendar today? Right? It's that simple. So again, I really enjoy my Google Calendar for that. I think it's very powerful, and I have a team of people to remind me. Oh, I have a team of people that will constantly remind me. Hey, we got Miss Monique from Karate for Girls, and so the referral system falls flat because, again, just to reiterate, it's set it and forget it. Another big one is, you got to ask yourself if referrals are word of mouth. Referrals are word of mouth. Write it down. Referrals are word of mouth. I've said it 3 times. Should I say it one more, Marco? No, I'll stay here. What actually gets parents talking? What do you think? What do you think gets parents talking? Put it in the comments. And while you put it in the comments, I want to, invite everybody to come to It's Time Live Freedom. That's November 8th through 11th, right here in Millbrae, California, 5 minutes from SFO. 20 school owners will stay for 4 days. That is probably the most miraculous experience. Budget for it. Sign up now. Come spend 4 days with us, and it'll change your life. It'll change your business, everything that you do. It's unlike anything in this industry. It is a retreat. It is a pilgrimage. They come from Switzerland, Germany. They come from Canada. They come from Australia, all throughout the United States. Only 20 will stay for 4 days. You can come for 2 days or 1, but my recommendation, invest in the 4-day, spend that with us. Cool? And put the link in there, Marco. Okay, great experiences. But, the thing with that, Mrs. Tina, is I like that. Great experiences, right, is what's going to get parents talking. So let's take one singular great experience that you can tell me about in your school, Mrs. Tina. One singular experience. What would that be? Anybody? Okay, put your comment in there. I'm going to tell you why this is super important. Because you're right. We want to create amazing experiences, Mrs. Tina. And here's one. We make sure in every one of our classes that kids are highlighted in spotlight. Say we're working on a tip, front kick, jab, cross. Boom. That kid will get put up at the front of the class, and they will lead that class. And they go, front kick, and the whole class shouts out, front kick. And the kid goes, jab, cross. And all the kids shout out, jab, cross. Mom's social media thing, she's taking video of it. It's a highlight. It's a spotlight. That will get a parent talking. And it will be, my kid led the class. Wow, the confidence. They would have never done that. They're shy. Birthday parties, they won't even play with the other kids. But hey, blah, 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 blah. So again, that's a magic moment. Having a kid break a board at the end of their first class and awarding them a best job, badge from Kids Love Life Skills. That's one of those magic moments that get people talking. Right? So anytime you have the opportunity to do that, I do this one, Mrs. Tina, which I think is super cool because, the class has their back to the parents because they're facing this way. We turn them around and they face the parents and we tell them, make us look good. Make us look good. Make us look good. And it's a beautiful day, right? The kids are there. The parents are social mediaing it. We're smiling approvingly in the background. And that has a lot of leverage because then that mom will be standing with the mom at the bus stop and go, hey, I saw that video you posted of your kid. What martial arts school is that? Wow, they look so confident. My kid could use some of that. And then da, 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 da. So again, when we talk about creating those experiences, for me, you'll see it. The phone comes out. They're recording it. Parents are crying. It's just that. And we talked about that yesterday in the Kin Creative meeting. When we do our dad and me party, we do a moment where the kids stand up and they each tell the whole group why their dad is so awesome. Everybody's crying, right? So it's those type of moments we have the opportunity to create, which creates that belief system, Mrs. Tina, that you're always there with them. So if they're out there, in the public, they're happily talking about what you do all the time. Especially if they take, and this is why I think referrals are not just so black and white. Two moms standing at a bus stop. Hey, my kids learn confidence at one martial arts. Take your kid there? No way. With the advent of social media, creating those opportunities for parents to want to do a post from your school organically, not where it disrupts the class or anything like that, but where it can organically create a conversation like that. So they post it at social media, which goes to all their friends, and their friends reach out and talk. That to me has become a big part of referrals. And if it's not one you're leveraging, then it's something I would really think about. What magic moments do you create in a class on a daily basis that's going to inspire a parent to take out their phone, right? To take out their phone, want to record it, and go all the way and post it at social media. You with me? Yeah. And I think being aware of that is powerful, really powerful. Powerful? No, it's really powerful. So ask yourself, what'll get a parent talking the first time they walk through the door? Well, hello within 10 seconds. That's a big one in our school, right? You walk in for a trial class, there's a sign printed with your name on it. Whoa, memorable experience. I can talk about that. I can tell you how many parents have taken pictures of that welcoming sign or asked for it and took it home. That they're proud of it. We're acknowledging their child, who's brand new in our space, right? Brand new in our space. A big part of creating what gets parents talking, and come on, stay with me now. You know what gets parents talking? Active listening. You hear that silence? That's called active listening. If I just talk, 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 right? Which is, the format here of this podcast, because I don't have any live guests, that's a big deal when you listen. But when you actively listen with a genuine concern to want to truly help fulfill their need, whether it's their child shy and needs confidence, or they're being bullied, or they need to be more fit, whatever that case may be, when you actively listen without this ulterior motive, I got to close the deal, I got to close the deal, I got to close the deal, that's when magic starts happening. It really, really does. And I can't express that enough. Because remember, when the day's done, we got to get parents to talk. Right. And the only way they're going to consciously take time out of their busy day with 1,000 different distractions, to get them to consciously do that, you need to feed it all the time. Every time they come into your class, you have to give them a reason to want to talk about your school. And you do it organically by teaching amazing classes and all the rest. We've already, dwelled upon that. But I'm consciously going to ask you to go through all your processes that would make even more parents want to talk about you. Give them a reason why, and they will. Cool? All right. So the next part of that is, how do you build a team culture that drives referrals daily? How do you do that? How do you do that? We're not big on sales scripts. We're not big on any of that. Um, Number one, we train our team constantly. So we're confident they're teaching amazing classes. Amazing classes. We're always looking at our KPIs. So if a class is underperforming, we look at the class time, we look at the instructor, we go audit the class. And what can I do to help this instructor course correct? Right? Course correct. But believe me, at a heart level, every one of these people believe in you. They probably started as a kid, became a black belt, wanted to be an instructor, and the band played on. So they are a living example, of that culture. And if they can do that, will they consciously drive referrals? Yeah. The art of selling without selling, right? They don't have to stand there and say, hey, refer us, refer us. If you like what your kid did today in class, go tell another parent, please. You don't have to do that. Simply through their actions and the inactions, people will want to go refer you. And it's the littlest of things. Parents, I had two boys that love monster trucks. They brought them in one day before their class, right? Little bitty things. When I was at Target, I picked them up something and I gave it to them. I did that the other day with two little girls that like some, I don't know, Doc McStuffin or something. And I gave it to her and her sister. Those little magic moments are priceless. Just priceless. Walking up to a parent and going, look at that. Right? I think I did that yesterday in one of our sparring classes. I says, oh yeah, I was praising Luke. He's one of our black belts now. And he's like, 13 or 14. I said, Mom, I know that's not comfortable for him to be sparring, but look at the confidence, right? And we both agreed on just that, boom. But you have to be aware of that. And planting those seeds in our team, we do that all the time, all the time. As Hanshi Kovar will say, be easily in awe. But see, the reason I asked that, okay, here, Mrs. Tina, this is why this is super important. The yes, ma'am, no, ma'am response at home. Now, of course, that begins within your school, correct? You say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, right? Because you're teaching on the mat. They say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. So you communicate that. Make sure you say to your mom at home, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Okay, great. So that's one of the things you do. And then your mom will go tell another mom, my child's so polite. At home, they say yes, ma'am. Oh, wow, it's just so cool, right? Okay, but that's a one-off, Mrs. Tina. What I'm challenging you to do with the yes, ma'am, no, ma'am response at home that started on the mat in their class, write me a system for it. That's the point I'm trying to make. Write a system for it. Because otherwise it's just a one-off and it's haphazard, right? You write a system, maybe it goes into the trial, right? And you teach them to say yes, ma'am, because it teaches respect. Respect is very important in the martial arts, right? It teaches good manners. Ooh, another cultural value in your culture, good manners. Boom. Now, how are you going to get your team to do that? You have to write a system, right? You have to write a system. And then when they learn that system, then you look for organic ways to reinforce it. Wow, look at little Timmy. He said, yes, ma'am, right away. That's such good manners, Timmy. Who could do a better job than Timmy? Everybody say, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you. And then you gamify it. See, there's so many layers, but those become systems, Mrs. Tina. They have to become systems. And that's the hard part. I do a lot of things that my team will never be able to do because they're me. But what makes me a great architect is when I can take what I do and rewrite it into a system for the average team member to bat at about 80%. I know, right? But yeah, I thought, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Tina. I like that. Yes, yes, yes. And so that's the hard part. And this is Disney, Apple, Nike. This is, you know, the thinking they spend millions and millions of dollars on creating a brand message and a culture and these little processes that help support it. It's the same thing here. If you want parents talking about you, you know, it can't just be you. If you want that whole team, you need to empower that team with the confidence. And when you train them on a system of yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, that you've written out so thoroughly for them to get, for them to be empowered, and they see that kid become respectful with good manners, they already are talking and helping promote referrals in your school because they're empowered. You've empowered your team through the systems you wrote that communicate your culture, that create those memorable experiences to do what? Get that parent to go talk about you, right? Because that's really what referrals are, people talking about your school. So far, what have we got out of this? Somebody give me something, put it in the comments, put it in there. And you know, Conrad saying from Respect Martial Arts down in Southern California, in school community events. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, being at community events are powerful. You want to get people talking about you? Don't stand there with a clipboard going, you want to sign up, you want to sign up, you want to sign up. No, do something of service. You know, I posted that this morning. Service is the highest calling. And when we can serve others above ourselves, I truly serve me. And so going out there with the cotton candy machines, or you know, my wife is helping with graduation today, and it's not even our kid graduating, right? In middle school. Though my wife is just amazing. She is the ambassador of One Martial Arts through donating her time to the PTA and all these different things. You know, that's a lot of our success. Absolutely, Conrad. So getting out in the community and not just having a booth and a spinning wheel, you know, that freaking spinning wheel is so played out as far as I'm concerned. And really getting in there and serving your community, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. We'll get people talking. Absolutely, Conrad. I love community events. I do. I love them. I love them. I love them. And for us, they're monumental. So systems, yeah, they are. And as mundane as that is, Mrs. Tina, you could go into ChatGPT now, which I love, and say, I need a system, right? And I need a system. We say, yes, ma'am, you know, in our school. What can I do here? how, a system to train people, to teach people to say yes, ma'am, to take home and do it. Again, ChatGPT has helped me become even more creative because I'm not bogged down in the 1 + 1 = 2 anymore, right? How to format this or how to lay it out or da 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 da. I can be even more creative and talk to ChatGPT to give me what I need in an organized fashion that's going to allow me to efficiently train a team, right? That's what bores the crap out of me. Step one, step two, step three. What makes me excited is the creative process behind that. So again, leveraging ChatGPT is power. Hey, Virginia, Journey Martial Arts. Yep, service is what helps us build trust-based relationships. Wow, Virginia, that's just brilliant. Write that down, everybody. Trust-based relationships. And you've heard me say this a million times. Trust is the last true form of marketing. So if I want parents to talk about me, right, and our school, they're not going to do that if they don't trust me. No freaking way, right? So you're right, Virginia. That's so on point. Yeah, 30 seconds in ChatGPT saves me hours of crazy fixes. Yeah, they do. They do. They absolutely just never take a document at face value and run with it. Read through it thoroughly, right? All the time ChatGPT saved you, you now spend editing, tightening it up, and making sure it's truly on point with what you're doing. As I digress. So yeah, and service above self is one of my big philosophies I live by. So if you want parents to talk about you, if you want a team culture that drives referrals, earn that trust. Earn it from everybody and value that trust with everything. And that's why I've given tons of money back. If a parent's not happy or they want to cancel number what you kept, I'm not going to smoke and mirror, bait and switch. No. Boom. I'm going to make sure that we do what we say. And that's a big part of earning that trust. Be impeccable with your word, right? Your word is all you got. And never go back on your word for money. And I watch people do that all the time. Don't do that. So yeah, Virginia, I agree. Trust-based relationships. The more a family trusts you, the more they're going to go out and refer you. That's it. All day, every day. I love that, Virginia. What else? What else you want to add to that, folks? And then I'll go into the next part of referrals. And so the referral machine's not what we think it is it? Right? You think it's a sales script. You think it's a foolproof closing. No, it's not. It's very organic and it's very unique to every different martial arts culture. It really, really is. And once you can begin to cultivate and see that, then you can lean into it because that's what's going to separate you from the competition. It really, really will. But see, because it's so esoteric, people look at that going, oh, that's a bunch of crap, man. Just give me a sales script, You give me a foolproof referral thing. There's no foolproof anything. But going back to square one, creating amazing classes, right? Earning people's trust. They talk about you. Your team believes, so they talk about you. It's not the other way around. And I know you're looking for that, right? You're looking for the other way around. There's no other way around. There just simply isn't. And that's the problem. And I'm going to call it a problem. I'm not big on using the word problem, but I'm going to call this a problem. That's the problem with a lot of marketing. 30 students in 30 days, guaranteed or money back. I don't trust that already, right? And when I see school owners do that all the time, and I get it, it's standard marketing. You have 72 hours, only 20 spots, $19.99, 3 classes and a uniform. It does not cultivate that trust. You have to be confident enough to know because you're doing the good work, right? You're doing the right work, that parents are going to refer me. But if I don't have that system in place that we discussed at the beginning of this podcast today, putting it in emails, putting it in a text, putting it up on the Market Muscles TV, putting it on a flyer, doing seasonal, student drives, back to school student drive. You get $50 for every student you refer, right? Holiday, white belt in the bag. Great, wonderful. Buddy days, come on in. If your buddy signs up, you'll get $50 off your membership. On and on and on. So creating those vehicles, I think that's really what it's about at a community event. I would absolutely have that there, right? I would absolutely have that there. And so the referral thing, I think because everybody's looking for an ROI out of the gate, they're not willing to do the legwork, right? Or they see no value in it because you're looking for instant gratification. When it comes to getting parents to refer you, you know how that could go from trust to a bad review in a heartbeat? So you need to cross your T's and dot your I's and be mindful every time you interact with somebody in your school. It's an opportunity to deepen that trust, to deepen that relationship, or just treat them like a customer. Yeah, I'm very proud of this one. I know it's not a big deal to some people, but this Saturday, um, I've donated the school to a couple of our boys that are graduating from eighth grade. Now, it came out of we did this for Braden. When he graduated from eighth grade, he had a sleepover at the karate school. So guess what? These two boys, one's a black belt, one's on his way to being a black belt. In this family, we have two boys trained with us, plus a sister trains with us, plus she's in the after school program, plus he does private lessons. So if I had to really think about it, maybe about 15K a year this family spends with us. And you know what I'm going to tell you? The money's great, but the relationship we have with them is phenomenal. And through that, this one family has referred, in and out our doors, probably about 20 members easily, easily at this point. Some have stayed, some, stayed for all, some left, but easily 20 people. And it's moments like this where I say, I trust you. You're going to take care of the school. Good day, right? And to offer to that to them at no charge. Think about that, folks. There's no way, you could even begin. The 20 students they referred plus the 15K they spend a year. How many Facebook ads would I have had to run for that? And all it takes is me being present, being aware, being kind, serving people, right? How do you write that into a system? Right? To serve people and to care. You can, but it has to be a heart thing. And that's a whole nother conversation, right? Hiring a team that gets it, that shares the core values you share. I got that with my team, TJ Lucas. I'm very, very lucky. Everybody, Seafood Bender, everybody, they get it. They get to live your best life. They live it. They believe in it. So we're not pushing a big rock up a hill. You with me? Okay. And I know you were hoping to get this machine. You know what the machine is? The machine is the smallest of things when we talk about referrals. And I know people don't want to hear that. I know people want to hear this whole other thing. And I can't give that to you. There is no foolproof referral thing. And you all want that. I know you do. Set it and forget it, right? No problem. I can automate the emails to do that. And every, 3 months, send a mass email out to my parents and say, reminder, folks, remember, if you refer somebody, you get 50%, you get $50 off next month. I can do that. But the day-to-day interactions that, as Virginia says, you know, builds those trust-based relationships, those things that Mrs. Tina says, to get people to say yes, ma'am, at home, and the parents overwhelmed by that memory, they go out and refer people. That's something you have to cultivate with every breath, with everything that you do inside and outside of your business. And that's it. That's it. Right? The member drives we'll do during the summer. Right? I talked about the buddy days. We talked about you can do the Halloween party, the egg hunt, parents' night out. All those things should be happening. I look at it as part of my marketing dollars. I don't care about charging. I just want to get them to bring a friend, incentivize it. Right? If you bring a friend, then your name goes into a drawing and your next month's tuition is free. Okay, whatever you want to do, but I need new people to come through that door, right? I need new people. So you want to incentivize. If you just simply say bring somebody, right? Then you get in for free. If you don't bring somebody, it's $25. I think that sucks. Why do I think that sucks? Help me out, people. Right, that's a standard one in our business. And we say, well, it covers staffing and the pizza. Hey man, if you're hurting that bad, you got to collect pennies to sit there and pay for the pizza and the staff for a couple hours, I would go rethink my business plan. I really would. And I see that one all the time. If you come by yourself, $25. If you bring a friend, then it's free. Why am I not? I don't like that. Tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why. See, I'm like Marco with movies. I have songs in my head all the time, Marco, from being a musician and a DJ. I bet you have movie stuff always in your mind. It's an obvious referral graph. Yeah, it is, Conrad. It really is. And for me, when I can offer a buddy day, now here's the setback. Anytime we do something free, a billion people sign up and half of them show, right? It's free. I got busy. Something else came up. I'm okay with that. We always overbook those things, by design. But what it also serves, Conrad, and you want to get people talking, it's a retention event. It's a retention event. When I do a buddy day and I'm serving pizza and all that, and this mom can go get a pedicure with her best friend because her kids and their kids are with you at this buddy day doing, Nerf, Nerf, Nerf dodgeball, whatever. Yeah, it's huge retention. And believe me, if you spend a lot of time on retaining your existing students, they're going to talk about you. You with me? Right? And that's what this segue was into. And that's, to me, the other half of the equation, right? If I'm working constantly on my retention, which is better curriculum, better staff training, better free community events within the school, right? Which makes them proud and want to be a part of this culture, right? Plus the community events and all the rest. There you go. But retention, I think, is one of the overlooked ones. And if we're systematically investing in our retention, right, to retain our existing students, they're going to be more of a raving fan. They are. They'll be more of a raving fan, and they'll go out and tell people. That's really it. Someone is such a fan, they're going to go tell other people. That's what it comes down to. And if you believe you don't have to nurture that, then I think you're wrong. If you get anything for free, you are the commodity. If you get anything for free, you are the commodity. I don't understand that. Can someone help me? What am I missing that? If you get anything for free, you are the commodity. I don't know what that means. But what it inspires me to think when you say that, Mrs. Tina, is people say, well, free is just free. Free is just free. Free, free, free. I do very well with my mentoring and what I've done in this industry. And if you ask anybody, I give away tons of stuff for free all the time, all the time. And if I help somebody genuinely out of my heart, service above self, they've spent money with me. Yeah, a lot of people spend money with me, but I've helped a lot of people because service is my passion. Service is my purpose. So finding that balance is very important. And I think we need to get rid of that, right? We do one free trial class. I know my good friend Tule of my studio does 2 weeks free of after school, right? They do a week free of martial arts, and then you decide. And people say, well, free is just free. Free is free. That's not good. Okay. Okay. I think if the culture is in place, I think if the product's in place, I think if everything is tight and right, free is no longer free. Free is a gift. They're getting a gift. And they see it that way. Buy your presentation, buy the classes you teach, buy your team, buy the follow-up emails, right? All of it. Because free is free if it's some cheap thing that you get at, I don't know. I saw one the other day at the mall. They were doing some cell phone thing, and they were giving away free skins for your phone. And they were really cheap, broke things. And they were giving them away for free if you gave them, of course, your email and contact information so they could nurture the lead through an email, right? Or texting. And I got that. In return, you get some weird silicone, skin for your phone. Okay. Okay. That's simply a data gathering thing. And I understand that too, because you want to gather data. The more data I have, the more I can market to this set of people. I get that too. And it works in a lot of arenas. But I don't believe it puts my best foot forward for my brand and what we do, right? For what we do. So I'm very passionate about that. All right. So we're going to start wrapping this up. If you have any questions, put them in there. If you have any takeaways, ooh, I love takeaways. When I know you've learned one thing in our podcast and you're going to take it and take action on it, I'm super duper proud and super happy if that worked. So what do we got coming up, Marco? It's Time Live Freedom. Yeah, this one is to me is our ninth offering, I believe. And it's powerful because to create freedom is really is what owning a business is about. I know we work hard, I know we do long hours, but to create the freedom that comes with owning a healthy business driven by systems, driven by a team you take care of, and all the rest, it's unequaled. So, emotional freedom, mental freedom, physical freedom, financial freedom, that's what this 4-day event is all about. And you need to be a part of it. I encourage you to find a way and get signed up now. We also have our It's Time group mentoring. I'm very proud of the comments that have been coming in, understanding what a consultant does versus a mentor. We are with you forever, right? We're about the relationship. We're about the long-term investment. That's truly what we do. Because it's the day-to-day grind that you need somebody to talk to, that you want to text, that you want to call, that you want to help figure out when a parent quits, or you're trying to figure out a way to shore up this month's revenue. I mean, mentoring to me is so much different than you know what consulting does. Cool. And so put the link for that as well. Conrad, his takeaway is to button up the new student walking in experience. Yeah, to me, that's the holy grail, Conrad. From the time let's say they opt in through a Facebook ad, the team at Kin calls them, the team at Kin gets them booked for a trial. The emails and the videos and stuff we send to get them to show is one strategy. When they walk through the door and they see their name on a sign printed really nice, hello, Timmy, and next to is a t-shirt with Timmy's name on it, on a little boom, and Timmy gets that t-shirt, right? And then we ask mom and dad, what are your goals for Timmy? And they say confidence and discipline. And we pull out the student parent handout for confidence and discipline with the 2 badges and say, what makes our culture unique is that we help you. We are that village that's going to help cultivate these life skills to help Timmy live his best life. Boom. And we give the badges and we give the student parent handout to the parent while they're sitting there watching this amazing trial. Oh, I'm always going through our trial with a fine-tooth comb because it is part of the referral. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. You just simply don't, Conrad, right? So I want to be mindful that's dialed in. That's a good takeaway. Any other takeaways today? Cool. All right, let's start thanking our sponsors. As always, to Saw, if you're looking for equipment, uniforms, belts, they got great line of sparring gear now. And we actually are using them as our primary source for sparring equipment. Market Muscles, as I shared, they just released their own CRM system. My Studio, they're on version 2. And if you're a SaaS company or a tech company like this, both of them, you constantly better be updating your product. As I shared, Kids Love Life Skills, we're now subscription based, $99 a month. You have access to all the support materials as long as you're subscribed, plus the discounts up to 30% on some of the products are now built into that $99 a month subscription. And with that, when we get enough users, we're going to also offer a monthly meeting as well to help you get the most out of the system of Kids Love Life Skills, as well as help you better your schools and what you do. LC Accounting, my sister's a no-nonsense, meat and potatoes kind of bookkeeper, keeps me in line, does a really great job for so many school owners. I encourage you. You need a good bookkeeper. Make sure you get her. And of course, me and the guys at Kin Creative, we're doing amazing work. The results we're getting are phenomenal. And we continue to grow every day. Every day we get better at what we do. Cool? Cool. All right. So how do you find me, Marco? Easy to find me. You can find me at all the major platforms with our podcast, Success Never Sleeps, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Amazon, Spotify. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's decades of learning there now, and school owners benefit from that greatly. Greatly. And then, of course, Follow me at Instagram and join our disruptor group or our new group mentoring. We have a great group mentoring at Facebook, which is hyper focused on the small school owner, the stuck school owner, and the new school owner. I'm really proud of that group. We've made a lot of headway in just the past week, and I'm going to continue to nurture with the type of content that caters strictly to the new school owner, the small school owner, or the stuck school owner. So tell a friend, tell them to go there and ask them to be part of that group. Cool. And then for everything else, go to BrannonBeliso.com. All right. I am Brannon Beliso. Thank you so much for today. I know it may not be totally what you wanted to hear, but you can build a referral machine if you go back to the basics, teach amazing classes, have an amazing team offering them, give parents a reason to talk about you. Virginia, build those relationships of trust and create that raving fan. Cool? I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life. 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 Yeah.